Hello again, everyone. Today we will still be working with VMware for the PC. I will be going over how to 1. Create a folder share, 2. We will test the access to the share, and 3. We will change the NTFS permissions for the shared folder. Now I will be working on my server DC machine, and for this to work you have to make sure you have a couple of the roles installed, so I'm going to go ahead and check those. We'll go to Start, Administrative Tools, and then we'll go to Server Manager. Go ahead and allow that if you have to. And then underneath the roles, go ahead and expand that. The ones you need are the Active Directory Domain Services, the File Services role, and the feature that you also need to have is the Group Policy Management. Hello again, everyone. Today we will still be working with VMware for the PC. I will be going over how to 1. Create a folder share, 2. We will test the access to the share, and 3. We will change the NTFS permissions for the shared folder. Now I will be working on my server DC machine, and for this to work you have to make sure you have a couple of the roles installed, so I'm going to go ahead and check those. We'll go to Start, Administrative Tools, and then we'll go to Server Manager. Go ahead and allow that if you have to. And then underneath the roles, go ahead and expand that. The ones you need are the Active Directory Domain Services, the File Services role, and the feature that you also need to have is the Group Policy Management. Alright, now we'll be going on to step 1. We'll be creating the folder share, and to do this go ahead and go to Start, All Programs, Expand Accessories, and then we'll be going to Windows Explorer. And the Windows Explorer on the left pane, you expand the computer, and we'll be making this on the local disk C. And what we need to do is go ahead and create a new folder. You can name this for whatever needs you may be. I'll go ahead and name it Policies. Once we have the folder made, I'm going to go ahead and open that. Right click. I'm going to be making a new rich text document. That way we can, whenever we go to test, we can be sure that we can actually access the files. Just going to name this SOP. I'm going to go ahead and open that up and key in anything that you want. We're just wanting to have something here to make sure that we're able to read the file. Go ahead and save it after you've got it typed in what you want, and then we're going to back out to where we can see the original folder. We'll right click on that, and then in the menu we'll go to Properties, and then up at the top of the Properties dialog box we're going to click on Sharing, and then we're going to click on Advanced Sharing. Go ahead and allow that to run if you have to. Up at the top, click the checkbox for Share This Folder. Under Settings, you'll see Share Name, and we'll go ahead and change that to Company Policies. Now we'll go ahead and add the permissions to this folder here. Just click on Permissions down here. You can see that it has everyone selected. Go ahead and click that. Go ahead and allow for full control. And now in this window, if you're working with a company or whatever the case may be, not really the easiest way. It's not really the easiest way to do it, to have to go and set permissions for everybody individually. The easier way to do it is to do it by groups. And if you want to do this, I'll go ahead and add a group and just click add. And this brings up the select users, computers, or groups. And I'm going to add the students group here. We'll go ahead and type in students, check names, the way it gets to the right one. Go ahead and click OK, and now you can see here that the students group has now showed up. Go ahead and highlight that. I'm going to go ahead and give them full control. Click apply, click OK, go ahead and close that out. Click OK and close this out. And then go ahead and click share. Go ahead and click share up at the top. And you can see that it says this folder is already shared. We'll go ahead and click cancel. Now we'll go on to number 2, which is we'll test the share access. I had made the share on my server DC. I'm going to go ahead and move over to my server 01, and to test the share here, we'll just click start. We'll go to network, and now you notice right now that there's nothing showing here, but if you notice right here, I had a little pop-up that says network discovery and file sharing is turned off. We'll go ahead and click on that. Click turn on network discovery and file sharing. Go ahead and allow it if you have to. And here, if you get this pop up, it just asks you if you want to make the network you're connected to a private network or a public network. I'm going to go ahead and make it a private network. And now you can see here that it shows the computers that are on my network. I do not have my server 02 loaded up. I just have my server DC and my server 01. And to get to the file, it's on my server DC, so I'm going to go ahead and double click that. Now this brings up the shared folders that are on the server DC, and you can see here up at the top we have our company policies, which is what we named the folder, the shared folder. We'll go ahead and double click that, and there's our SOP document. Go ahead and open that up, and you can see that we can read the text here. And I'm going to go ahead and test and see if our permissions worked. I'm going to try and change the file. I'm going to go ahead and try and save that. You can see that it saved successfully because I gave the student account that I'm logged on to this computer on full control. I'll go ahead and exit out of that. Go ahead and back out of this here, and then we'll go back to our server DC, which we started the share on, and we'll go to start, all programs, expand accessories, and go to Windows Explorer. What we're wanting to do is find where we saved the folder at. Go ahead and expand computer. It's on our local disk C. And now you can see here that on the original server the name is policies for the folder, and the reason for the different names is whenever we actually set up the sharing permissions, we changed the name of what the people on connected to our network on the other computers see. They see it as company policies. We'll go ahead and check and see if the changes we made to the document on server 01 were saved to our original document here on server DC. We'll open that up. You can see our SOP document. Double click that. Now you can see that since we allowed permissions to let the users that connected to the share file to change it, for whatever their needs may be, you can see that the change we had made was saved. And I'll go ahead and close this out. Now we will be continuing on with step 3. We'll change the NTFS permissions for the shared folder. The NTFS permissions give you more specific permissions than just what we've done before by allowing people full control. To get to that, we'll go to Start, All Programs, we'll go to Accessories again, Windows Explorer, and in the left pane we'll navigate to where our shared folder is at. It's Computer, Local Disk C, and then our folder name was Policies. We'll right click on that. In the context menu we'll click on Properties. Now this time, instead of going to Sharing, we'll be going to Security, and then here you can set your NTFS properties for certain groups. It's best to do it by certain groups instead of having to do it by each individual that has access in your company. Well, first we will do we'll check the NTF permissions for the administrators. We'll go ahead and highlight them and click Edit. Go ahead and click the administrators again, and you can see here that they have full control over this document, which is good. Now we'll check our users, and our users, we want them to just be able to access the folders and see what's inside of it and to be able to read it, but we don't want them to be able to change anything. So I've got full control is not checked, modify is not checked, we have read and execute checked, list folder contents is checked, read is checked, and we have write unchecked because we don't want them to make changes. And now we're going to check our permissions for students. Now our students, we want them to be able to change these files. If they're, say you have a group of students in your classroom that are working on a project together, they would need to be able to modify this folder. We're not going to give them full control. We're just going to go through and select the permissions that we want them to have. We want them to be able to modify. We have that checked. We want them to be able to read and execute. We want them to be able to see the folder contents. And you can also see that read and write is also checked. Everything looks good here. We'll go ahead and click OK. And go ahead and click OK and close out of this. And this concludes the how-to video for lab 2 of VMware for the PC.